Thank you very much, Professor He. And it's really my great honor to be speaking here before such a group of great scientists and technicians, engineers on the topic of the AI governance. And also, I would like to reflect to Professor Liu's address about the Tongji University's policy on developing the AI governance and also the AI, as well as the AI technology. So this is equally important, so that's why I'm here to speak, although I feel not very comfortable because I know very little about the real AI, although I use that every day, but we experienced that some very serious problems in the area of AI. As one of the greatest scientists and technological achievements of our time, artificial intelligence has brought tremendous changes to the human society. However, the criteria of evaluating this technological advancement must consider not only the level of scientific technology, but also the level of the AI governance. Yet, the level of the AI governance as a key criteria, particularly with its fully embodied justice and a shared and the paramount value of our human society. So with this in mind, I would like to share the following 5 reflections with the conference. First of all, why we would answer that question, why justice must be taken seriously in the AI era. Well, in China, sometimes we use the fairness and justice, but sometimes we only use justice. In China, we always put that together would be a more profound meaning of the human value, but sometimes justice might be enough for the expression. The development of AI has brought unprecedented efficiency, convenience, and innovation of our human society, while also presenting new challenges to humanity. Therefore, we should take AI seriously. And actually, we should also take fairness and justice in the AI era even more seriously. That is because some phenomenon that violates fairness and justice have become a reality unfolding around us. The first is about the algorithm bias leads to discrimination against certain groups. All AI systems used in hiring may systematically exclude female or minority job applicants due to the historical biases in training data. Credit assessment models might shut the door to the lower income groups based on proxy variables like zip codes, like spending habits. And in US, there has been some cases where algorithm assessing like the likelihood of re-offending of those African Americans after the parole. So algorithm is not inherently objective. They learn and they reinforce some existing inequalities in human society. Second, the digital divide exacerbates social inequality. As education, healthcare, and government services increasingly rely on intelligent platforms, elderly individuals and persons with disabilities and impoverished populations who lack familiarity with digital devices and access to high-speed networks are being rapidly marginalized, creating a kind of new rights depressions. Third is the black box. The black box decision-making creates accountability vacuums. The decision-making logics of many complex AI models resembles the black box, and when the individual is denied a loan by AI, flagged as a high risk by the judicial risk assessment system, or even injured by an autonomous vehicles that seek compensation, to whom should we turn for the answers? Who bears these responsibilities? The lack of interpretability or explainability in these processes severely undermined the very foundation of the procedural justice. The fourth is that the data monopolies leads to some kind of power imbalance. Some tech giants wield vast amount of data and computing power. If this data power remains unchecked, it may result in market monopolies, price manipulations, and even erode the independence of the fairness of the public decision-making process and the legal systems. So artificial intelligence is not merely a technical tool, it is also a force reshaping the distribution of social resources and the power structure. Every technological revolution in history has been accompanied by a dramatic shift of the distribution of the interest. Ignoring the latent risk of injustice within it could give rise of the digital leviathans like that. That exerts efficiency, but lack of justice or fairness. So this is the first reflection I share with you. The second is about the justice has been becoming a fundamental guiding principle in China's developing AI development. And we have some officials and NGOs guidelines or regulations here that upholds the principles of justice or fairness in the AI development and AI deployment. While we have the government, we have the principles of the governance in new generation artificial intelligence. We have the ethical guidelines for new generation artificial intelligence. And there is this is the kind of regulation issued by the State Council. It's also stressed on the justice principle or fairness principle in the AI development. And besides the governmental efforts, the industry and the civil societies and the NGOs has also made a lot of efforts in enhancing the principle of fairness and justice in the AI development. The industries like Tencent, like Alibaba, like the other very famous enterprises, they have their own AI guidelines for ethics and some inner regulations for their the platform or for their area. And very importantly, there is an NGO, just it's a long name of the NGO. That's the SAC's Cybersecurity Cybersecurity Technical Commission. They issued a very famous framework of the AI security governance that is called Artificial Intelligence Security Governance Framework 2.0. It changed the algorithmic fairness to AI ecosystem fairness, aiming to achieve distributive justice, equal opportunity, and a cultural representation equality, and outcome fairness within the AI governance. And then another one is the WAIC, the World Artificial Intelligence Conference. Just last July, just issued a very important action plan that's called the Global AI Governance Action Plan, calling on all parties to take effective actions and collaborate in advancing global AI development and governance. Well, and we also learned that in the other jurisdictions, like in European Union, like the United States, the UK, they have also their own, they issue their own policies in the AI governance relating to the equality, to the justice, or to the fairness. And we also learned a lot from our neighbors, from these counterparts. So this is the second one. The third is about the principles of the fairness and the justice in the AI development and application or deployment. Well, first one is in the AI development. In this area, I'd point out three very important points about their work in the relating to the justice and the fairness. One is the so-called data justice. The data justice addressed algorithmic bias at the source of the AI development. The quality of training data, very important. Well, there must be some measures to cleansing the review and to identify the quality of the data to guarantee the quality of the AI products. The second is the algorithmic justice. By pursuing the transparency and explainability, vigorously develop explainable artificial intelligence technologies, the kind of technology that I just learned about that. It's called XAI technology, to ensure human comprehension of algorithm decision-making logic. The third is to pursue the design justice. It's not only algorithm justice, design justice. Since justice or fairness should not be only added into the AI products afterwards, but it should be designed into the AI products. And this is about the development and about the application or deployment. There are another 3 points. The first is to ensure equitable access to bridge the digital divide. This is a serious social problem in the AI society, in the AI times. And the second is we call it procedural justice or process fairness, must be ensured by safeguarding human oversight and appropriate redress mechanism. You must have some remedies or auditing for this kind of justice. And the third is to ensure the outcome fairness or outcome justice or the ultimate justice through the dynamic auditing or the accountability mechanism. Okay, let's move to the fourth point. It's about some standards I summarized in the artificial intelligence in our judicial system. Since the judiciary stands as the final bastion of fairness and justice, therefore, whether judicial organs employ artificial intelligence in their operations or adjudicating cases involving AI, fairness and justice must be upheld as the paramount principle. Some local courts have already began examining the fairness and the algorithm models used by the defendants in labor disputes and in some consumer disputes, and in some other, relating to AI or digital technologies, these kind of cases. That with the incorporation with the algorithm transparency and outcome fairness as factors of the judicial ruling. These five principles, standards, or practice, we could see it's practice applied in the judicial system has actually a very widespread influence over the world. Since China's judicial system has been utilizing the internet technology or AI technology, digital technology in the world in the kind of a pioneering position. So let's just point out these five items or practices we have been using in the judicial work. The first, we have the Supreme People's Court issued a very important document that is called Opinions on Regulating and Strengthening the Judicial Application of Artificial Intelligence. We also know that in some other countries, in UK, they have some kind of guidelines for the judges for the courts how to utilize the AI technology. In China, the Supreme People's Court published such kind of policy to regulate, to encourage, of course, but also to regulate this application of the AI. It is always stressed on one point, that is, the AI is always holding its auxiliary capacity in the decision making by the human judges. So human judges are always the decision maker instead of the AI agent or the AI assistant. The second is that is establishing an electronic litigation system to facilitate parties involved in the case. That is also mentioned by the moderator, Professor Huiling, that I was involved in designing the judicial reform plan for the internet court in China, in Hangzhou, in Beijing, and in Guangzhou. At that time, the essence or the concept of that internet court is to utilize the internet technology to deal with the cases involving the internet matters or internet world. But now the AI technology is involved also. And it creates or it innovates some new models of trial in the, on the basis of the justice and the fairness. And the third is the implementing the similar case recommendations to unify the adjudication standards. That's a very special system. All Chinese judges using that to help to assist their adjudication or the analysis of the cases. That is called a similar cases recommendations system. Similar case recommendation systems. And the fourth is implementing the sentencing assistance. Well, the sentencing is a very important part of the criminal justice. And well, after the conviction of the defendant, well, sentence would be the core issue in the process. So how to evaluate, to assess the length of the sentence, the imprisonment, or even the death penalty, that would be greatly benefited from the AI technology. But it should never be controlled by this kind of AI technology. And that is also, I mentioned in the United States, there are some kind of cases about the defendants, the re-offending about the, after the parole process. And the final one is the implementing smart enforcement and ensure the fair realization of claims. Well, enforcement is a kind of a very technical part in the judicial work, but it's very important because even after the judgment, your rights and obligations are confirmed, but it might never be realized, enforced. That's also empty. So the enforcement system in Chinese court is also very, it's equally important to the adjudication part. And finally, I think the last 3 minutes about talking about some recommendations. Well, recommendations are always treated as regarded as the very important one, but usually it's the most simple one, since you have never have enough time to illustrate, to talk about more about these recommendations, because one point would be a kind of article. But I would like to point out these 6 recommendations, put it to the conference and to ask for your involvement and help. The first is to establish an inclusive and prudent approach to AI governance. And actually, this is also kind of Chinese national policy for the AI development. The second is to implement mandatory algorithm impact assessment. We have done some, actually, many companies have done that. We have some platforms, technical platforms, and also our innovation center, as mentioned by Professor Liu, that as a co-sponsor of this conference, co-organizer of this sponsors of this conference, is the Shanghai Innovative Collaborative Innovation Center for AI Governance. We are developing our own assessment system. The third is to strengthen the global collaboration to jointly establish technical standards. No worries about that. The scientists are very active very positive in pushing forward this kind of effort. It's a joint effort of collaboration to set up such a set of standards. The fourth is to establish interdisciplinary ethics review committees. We have such a kind of a very basic step to establish such kind of joint organizations, but we do need more scholars, practitioners, experts from the other disciplines to join this committee to end up with the conversation to develop more applicable standards for the AI development. The fifth is to enhance the digital literacy and right awareness among all citizens. This is, well, in China, not only the government, but also the society is very keen to enhance, to raise the awareness of the ordinary citizens about the AI governance, AI application, AI deployment, and to keep that in mind, to keep the fairness and the justice in mind when they use that and when they are involved in even some tests. And the final one is to accelerate the specialized legislation to strengthen the legal foundation. We know that in European Union, they have promulgated the AI Act, and that is really a very important example for all other countries. And China actually is now also in the process of the legislation of an AI Act or AI Regulation Act. I'm not sure the final version of the title of this draft legislation is, but we are in the process of doing that. We hope that we will have a more comprehensive, more well-developed or high advanced legislation than the other countries, based on or on the shoulder of the other countries' effort in the legislation. So, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence is a mirror that reflects both the brilliant light of human wisdom and the deep-seated biases within our society. Taking fairness and justice seriously in the age of AI means taking our own value and the future seriously. This requires the foresight of the legislators, the conscience of the technicians, the sense of justice of legal professionals, the responsibility of the enterprises, and the intention of the participation of each one of us. Let's join hands to ensure this sweeping technological revolution ultimately steers up towards a fairer, more just, and brighter future. Thank you very much.